Yeah, Tuesday night, lights low, sparks fly. War report after dark, better fall in line. From WWE to TNA, AU to Spark. Vince the Prince from the Northeast set it off in the dark. OG Steve led the charge. Cat Al, Eric Us, 9 p.m. Eastern. Acknowledge the ring, acknowledge us.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the War Report After Dark. Coming after a strong backlash and a Monday Night Raw at Apollo. We got a lot to break down in an hour. Vinnie Mac, how you doing, brother?
My mic was muted. How are you, man? How's it going? I'm great.
I'm going good, brother. I'm doing good. I was going to say, I lost you for a minute. Boy, I got to tell you, when it comes to Backlash, it's usually one of those shows for me that is there, but it doesn't do much for me usually. This was a good Backlash. I enjoyed it. Couple of big things, obviously, to go over and talk about, and then we'll dive into Raw. But ultimately, this for me was one of the better Backlash shows that I can remember. And of course, a lot of it had to do with the build, but for Roman and Jacob. And we'll definitely dive into detail on that match, but by no way, shape, or form did Jacob look bad losing that match. And in fact, to me, he looked stronger than ever. And that also blends into Raw. So we'll dive into all that. But overall, what did you think about Backlash?
Yeah, I thought it was, good. I won't say great, but it was definitely good. There's some stuff that I'm sure we'll get into that the Asuka match. We'll talk about that because it's like the finish that was unexpected and the fallout from that is kind of all weird. But other than that, no, I think 5 solid matches. I would prefer to have like a 7-match card for a pay-per-view. But they gave every match plenty of time, 15 to 20 minutes, which is nice. There was a lot of in between, but if this is the new normal, at least 5 matches, each getting 15 to 20 minutes, that's a lot better than what we got at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and the ads seem to be a little bit less than they were for Mania. I agree. I mean, listen, there definitely was some wonky stuff that happened. And since you brought it up, we can go right into the Asuka thing, because she sent out an Instagram post prior to the match, which ultimately sounded like a goodbye. Mm-hmm. And like, this is going to be my last match. Which by doing that, you automatically have an idea in your head that Asuka's going to lose, because usually on your way out you lose. That's just kind of how it goes. I thought the match was great. There were a lot of Kairi Sane chants, which you expected. But I thought the match was good. I liked I liked how Io was able to counter the mist. And then it was kind of like Madison Square Garden, Triple H and the Clique, where now all of a sudden the match is over, Io wins, they hug, and then
right.
Asuka walks out. So then you start, thinking, well, is Asuka the latest victim of, hey, we want to renegotiate your contract, and she said no. But now it sounds like she hasn't retired and that she's just taking time away. So we don't really know. I mean, one thing you can say, it's not like she left her boots in the ring. So
No, but look, I mean, she packed up her bag and like walked out. Like, you know what I mean? That's it. She's gone, at least for the moment.
she's taking time away. But I don't think this is the last we've seen of Asuka.
Man, and listen, not that Tony Khan needs to have any more people on his roster, but at least for a couple matches, if these people are free agents, you definitely got to talk to Kairi. You got to talk to Asuka. Help out the women's division a little bit. You talk to the Young Bucks and you talk to the Motor City Machine Guns and the New Day, potentially about those guys coming in like full time as part of the tag division.
Well, it sounds like New Day is pretty much a done deal.
Right.
From everything I've been hearing. So, we have less than 90 days to find out. So before we continue going through the card, Al, you're with us. Overall, what was your overall opinion of Backlash?
It was Backlash. It was Backlash.
You didn't think it was better than usual?
No, because we didn't get a fucking Samoan debuting. We've had back-to-back Samoans in the last two, and regardless of how bad it was, it's got me wired to think that something big is going to happen as far as somebody coming back, beginning of the year, new first pay-per-view.
So
Boom,
that
here
on
we
its
go.
own ruined it for you?
What happened?
That on its own ruined it for you?
Not ruined it for me, but it's just an okay pay-per-view, right? It doesn't solve anything. It just
I mean, I will say this.
it was good wrestling. There wasn't bad wrestling. It's just storyline wise, I'm trying to see where we're going with the. But whatever, we'll break down every match.
Well, I will say this. If there was going to be interference, or if there was going to be a debut, or if there was going to be anything wild, it was going to be during that Roman Jacob match. And I got to tell you, I'm actually kind of happy it didn't happen. Because you're so used to Roman getting help from the family.
Right.
I'm kind of glad that he did it on his own, even though that was kind of a wonky finish for me too.
I wasn't expecting him to get win. I wanted him to win over because if you looked at the trajectory of the match, Fatu was the heel.
Well, Fatu is definitely coming out of it as the heel, but
Right. So I thought like Azilla, his ex-tag team partner, could finally join the family.
well, I think that's still a possibility of happening, but I don't think it needed to happen at Backlash, especially when the outcome was going to be that Roman was going to retain and go over. I'll tell you what I loved the match. Let me start off by saying I absolutely loved how Jacob came out wearing the same dress wear as Haku or Umaga would have. Boy, did I see a lot of Umaga in
Did they
Jacob
wear a lot
Fatu.
of? Question: did they wear the white leg coming out, Umaga and them? I don't recall.
I don't remember.
I think
I
Umaga
like
had
that
some.
white leg.
Umaga may have, but I love that. I love the physicality, the story that was told. I love the match. What I found odd, though, so the whole match is basically Roman figuring out how to stay alive and avoid the Tongan death grip or get out of it in any way that he could. So the conclusion of the match ends with Roman being able to shift the weight of Jacob into the turnbuckle, which the pad was off, smacked him in the head, which led to the break of that into the spear and the cover. My only thing with that is Jacob Fatu is Samoan, and something like a ring post to the head should not affect him because it's to the head. So I thought that was kind of odd.
It's still metal.
Still a head post. It's metal.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a guy who could take a chair shot to the head and just shake it off because it's the head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I that is the only thing for me that I thought was kind of odd. But I did like the match, and I liked how great Jacob looked in that match. That to me was probably Jacob's best performance since hitting the WWE, in my opinion.
Well,
And
the
Roman looked
irony,
great too.
right? The irony of him still losing, but in a way still going over on the matches is awesome, right? It's like he doesn't lose anything by losing to the tribal chief.
Yeah, if anything, it made him stronger. Because listen, win or lose, the last person standing was Jacob.
Not that I'm comparing the situations, but it's kind of a Bret Hart Stone Cold WrestleMania moment as far as the trajectory of the loser of the match. It didn't really, take no steam off them. If anything, it helped them out for future endeavors.
Yeah. I'm very curious as to where this now goes. Because then you go over to Monday Night Raw, and Roman thinks that Jacob is going to acknowledge him, which, I mean, even the Usos were like, there's no chance in hell that Jacob's going to acknowledge him. And then, of course, Jacob did not acknowledge him, and he beats the shit out of the Usos. And then a melee ensues with Roman. They have a great battle, and then it ends with Jacob unhinged. And that final spot with Jacob, who's halfway up the ramp and then freaks out again and runs back and takes out all three. I love it. I love it. I'm wondering where it goes from here. Like, is Jacob going to start his own bloodline? Are the Usos involved? Because one thing I will say, as happy as I am that the Usos were not involved in that match with Roman, to me it felt kind of odd that after the match they weren't there to help Roman.
I have a question though. Do you think, based on what he said before in regards to, who brought me here, it was Solo, but do him and Solo rekindle, but not in a I love you Solo kind of way, but in a, hey, we're partner in this,
You
and
know,
we want to take on the bloodline.
that's an interesting question, and it's not a far-fetched one. I can most certainly see that. And I do love the story that they're telling. That Jacob's bitter that Roman never opened the door for him, but Solo did. Like, I do like how they're telling that story. And it makes sense.
And also that opens the door for his boy, Keith, whatever his name is. I what's his name?
Oh, Hobbs?
Hobbs, right? Because you see them in the background. They're having these, these conversations.
I mean, listen, if you put a bloodline together, which really wouldn't be a bloodline, you definitely have to call it something different. But if you had a team or a stable with Jacob, Hobbs, and Solo,
with the tall
well,
guy,
and Tala Tonga,
right?
I mean, that's
pretty formidable. Like, you could, that's pretty goddamn strong. The only thing that would save the bloodline is Sammy coming back.
But here's what I do want to know about this whole thing. On TV, it's being positioned that Jacob is the heel and Roman is the babyface. How do we feel about that?
I mean, I don't mind it, because at this point, Roman is our babyface. He's the guy.
I gotta be honest. I look at it differently. I don't think there's a heel, and I don't think there's a baby face. I think these two. The crowd loves them both.
Yeah, but
the crowd is going to constantly acknowledge Roman Reigns, and the crowd is constantly going to cheer for Jacob.
What I think is what I think Vince is trying to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, Vince, is the trajectory of a match, right? Because, like, us prone to wrestling, based on how the match is being written to us in the ring, we kind of figure who the heel and the face of the match is based on, on the hot tag per se, or when they get hot and all this other stuff. So, like, you could tell that he is the heel in the match. So how do you feel about that though? If he's being portrayed as the heel,
I just mean, like, it seems to me that Roman is kind of being the tribal chief to Jacob. He's being condescending. You're not on my level. You have to acknowledge me, this, that, and the third. Does that mean, to me, when you watch that, Roman's not really being a baby face. And you could say Roman's not a baby face. He's not a heel. He's the head of the table. He's the tribal chief, whatever. But
to be fair, though, he's asking to be acknowledged by Jacob because that was the contract.
Right, but I mean, before that, he was saying, hey, you're really not, why are you challenging me for the title? You're really not on my level, setting up all this stuff of like, and again, you have to build yourself up. But to me, the way he was saying the stuff to Jacob leading up to the match didn't seem like the way a babyface would talk.
He's an arrogant babyface.
Right. So the thing that we keep bringing up about where were the Usos? The Usos got taken out by Jacob. I'm kind of leaning towards what Al is saying with the theory of the Usos realizing that Jacob is, if not on Roman's level, getting there, and that to help out Jacob would be the way to elevate the bloodline and bring it, to the future in the next generation.
For some reason, when Jay stayed back waiting for him and he didn't walk out to the ring with him, I said, holy shit, here goes the split of the Uso, and Jay's going to side with Jacob. For some reason, that's what I thought, till he headbutted him or whatever the hell he did behind the scenes.
See, but that's the other thing. I think it's going to be either both or none. I don't think they're going to split the Usos again.
Yeah, I think it's both.
They're either both going with Jacob or they're both not.
I think they might both be going, buddy.
I listen. You said that even before Backlash, and I'm starting to see it more now after Backlash. That's a definitely strong possibility.
Yeah. How do you not come out and help the tribal chiefs and like, for me, they're being a little extra. Like, they're like, oh yeah, you're the tribal chief, this and that and all this other shit. And sometimes I be seeing Jay's face and he don't look that happy when the tribal chief be talking.
Yep.
So,
it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes.
For sure.
Especially since Pierce wants to fire him, and Roman's like, no, you're not firing him. I'll take care of this.
Yeah, I brought him here.
But he also said, if you don't acknowledge me, it'll be your last night on Raw or whatever. So, he set out another stipulation there of like, I don't know why they're teasing this. With all of the real-life releases, why are we teasing that a guy's going to get fired from Raw on TV?
Well, that's been that's also been people have been saying that also about the Joe Hendry song about fire Logan Paul, and people are like, it's not really it's not in good taste right now when you have people that are actually getting released from their contracts.
Come on, there's no way that kid is going anywhere. That's the only reason you could say that to him.
Of course he's not, but it's the perception. You know what I'm saying?
It's Logan Paul. Fire him.
Listen, I happen to be a fan of the song. I think it's great.
I love the song, but there's no way I'm firing Logan Paul. The irony of it, ain't it?
Yeah,
that's true.
That is
true.
I
will sing that song to the death of me, but there's no way my heart truly believes that kid should ever be fired from the WWE. He is a great...
He's doing so well.
He's such a good heel. I fucking hate him.
He really he's found something that he can do really well. That isn't being an asshole on YouTube.
Do you want me to tell you the last professional wrestler that annoyed me as much as he did? Fucking Kurt Angle.
Oh.
I have to go that far back when this guy came out with his fucking 3 eyes and his perfect fucking haircut and his broken freaking neck. I just can't stand this kid Paul in the whatchamacallit. But he's a great athlete, just like fucking Angle was, so like I can't hate him for that.
Logan Paul's something else, man. I've become more and more a fan of him every week. We had Rollins Breaker It was a hell of a match. That was one I liked the finish. I thought it was great. And I mean, they made the right decision. Braun Breaker had to go over. It's just funny how Seth Rollins has not gotten a win since his return. But
Well, it's because it's Rollins.
right, he doesn't need to win. Like that, he's at that point where like, I mean, fuck. John Cena came out and made an announcement that you could still win a championship without winning matches. Like,
Right.
what the fuck?
What the
Alright,
fuck is that? Jesus Christ.
all right, well, if you want to jump all the way to that, we can talk
Well,
about that too.
I'm just saying that, like, Seth is at the point where I don't want to say he's untouchable, but losing on a Backlash pay-per-view to Braun Breaker isn't like going to derail.
Well, listen, like I said, it's the right move. I mean,
Yeah.
Braun Breaker's the guy. So,
Oh, for sure.
You know,
You gotta
you,
push
you
in
got
all
to
in on
push him to the moon. So let's jump a little forward then, since you brought it up, because this is. So here's what I will say about the announcement. All the build, Cena's going to be there. He's got this groundbreaking announcement, this and that. I'm like, all right, this is going to be a dud. It was not a dud to me. I actually think this is a very cool idea. I like the idea of the John Cena Classic. I like that they're going to put a new title in there. I like how it's going to be fan participation. I don't like how the fans can choose somebody if they don't win. So that I agree with you. But it is different. And I do like how they're keeping the NXT versus the main roster to give these young guys an opportunity. Because like John said, if you look at the guys that appeared during his final run, it was Oba, it was Javon, and Trick, and look at them now. So I like the idea. It's also going to keep John Cena around to some extent. I think you're going to get some really good matches, and I'm pretty sure John Cena is going to pretty much hand select who's going to be in the tournament.
You don't think that this is like a crown jewel belt type of night?
I mean,
yeah.
it will be in the sense that belt probably will only be defended once a year.
Correct. Yeah.
But, I'm okay with that.
For me, if this is the stipulation, fuck it. I'm going to go on a limb. I want the belt on Tozawa.
What? Why?
Tozawa. Put the belt on him. That guy tries, he rips the fucking shirt off. He does all this great thing. Put the belt on Tozawa. That's the guy I want to win.
Bro, I think the idea. I think the idea is to elevate somebody on NXT, bro.
On NXT?
That's what the whole fucking thing is. It's NXT versus the main roster. It's to get the NXT guys elevated. Remember during John Cena's final run, he had people from NXT fight. Yes. Now this is becoming a yearly thing, and a title will be a part of it. You missed the announcement during Backlash?
No, I was fucking watching it, but as soon as he said to me that the fucking belt was you could choose if you lose, I lost total interest of whatever he was talking about.
See, that part I don't love.
And honestly, I know this belt's gonna have a fucking spinner on it, so I'm not excited about it at all.
It's definitely gonna have a spinner.
I hate that belt.
I don't think it's gonna have a spinner.
What?
Yeah,
it's a John Cena belt.
Yeah, we're not in the 2000s. Like
he is. He still rock fucking jorts.
Actually, no, he was wearing a suit and tie last night.
No. I'm talking when he was in the ring.
Well, but he's not in the ring anymore. He's retired. This is corporate Cena now.
It is.
I don't think we're getting a spinner belt. I'm actually curious to see what the design is going to be. I do like the concept. I do agree with you both, though. The idea that the crowd can choose somebody that doesn't win a match, I'm iffy on that one. But I wasn't disappointed by the announcement, and I didn't have very high expectations, because usually it's a bust. U.S. Championship, you had Trick Williams, Sami Zayn. I mean, that match was what I thought it would be. Trick had to go over. It was fine. It was what it was. I hope we're moving on from Sami Zayn at this point, and Trick is now going to start a feud with somebody else.
What do you do with Sami at this point?
Fuck if I know. I mean, the obvious thing would put him back in a bloodline somewhere, but I don't know that they're going to do that because
my conspiracy theory is Sammy will do absolutely nothing until about January, win the Royal Rumble, and then win the title in Saudi at Saudi Mania because they want a Muslim to win the title in Saudi Arabia.
Really? And what title is he taking?
Let's see. Roman could lose it to somebody, and then that one. I mean, Cody, he's not beating Cody, but Cody could always lose it to somebody. The problem is once somebody wins the title, until WrestleMania season comes up, we're like damn sure they're not going to lose it now. Just with the way.
Keep in mind too, I don't necessarily. You guys are also speaking and assuming that Roman's going to be champion by Mania, and I got to tell you,
I don't.
There's a very good chance that I think Roman may lose the title at SummerSlam, and Jacob might actually win the title because I could see this going through SummerSlam, and I can't imagine Roman's going to be hanging around very much after SummerSlam. He said he's going to be around all summer, which means he's going to take a break afterwards, and I could see Jacob being the guy. So then you could always have it being Jacob Sammy.
Yeah, but Jacob being Sammy being Jacob, that sounds crazy to me. Like, look, do the safe thing. Put it on Drew McIntyre and let him lose it. That's what they do all the time.
That's so funny. I was just going to say that. I was like, fucking have Drew McIntyre, like, sneak in and win the title somehow. And then Sammy finally beat, because Sammy's 11-0 against him, and he lost in Saudi at the Rumble. So maybe he finally
solved it. We solved it.
That's right. And then
Vince, why don't you just say your Zelle out there for WWE to just send us the check?
Yeah, I'm sure he's never going to see anything from them. So that leads us to Danhausen. And so on SmackDown, you see him in the lab trying to clone himself. And at one point, the machine like starts to stop working, and very subtly, oh shit. And I don't know if anyone caught it, but it made me laugh out loud. And then it brings us to Backlash, and once again, didn't have very high expectations. I really thought this was going to be a bust. We had heard rumors of Jelly Roll, maybe CM Punk. We wound up getting a mini Danhausen, who is a AAA luchador.
It was El Torito.
It was El Torito. And I got to tell you, at first, like, the reveal comes, they get in the Danhausen machine, and they drive down to the ring, and I was like, this is going to suck ass. But Torito kind of won me over. Danhausen is actually really decent in the ring. I thought the match was great. There were times during that match where I truly laughed out loud. Like, to me, it was funny as hell when Torito gets thrown back in the machine, and now you're like, okay, it's back on. Like, what's going to happen? Like, I had thoughts of Boogeyman, like something. And then all of a sudden you get all the mini Hausens. So, like, the machine actually did work now. And it made me laugh out loud. Like, to me, I happen to be thoroughly entertained by that match. I love Danhausen.
A couple things. Danhausen needs to go to whatever vitamin dealer that CM Punk went to, because he's a little soft in the midsection. He is decent. I won't say he's good. He's decent in the ring. The best wrestler in that match, and this is an indictment of The Miz and a little bit of Kit Wilson. The best wrestler in the match was El Torito by a large margin. He was slamming people. He was picking them up. He was doing airplane spins. He was wilding out in this match, and which is great. I mean, listen, nothing better than a good mini wrestler like that. The idea, the thing where the machine overloaded and a bunch of them came out. I'm like, I was expecting the little guys to come out again because they got so popular at WrestleMania. So good timing on bringing them back out. The Miz seems to be enjoying his paid retirement as basically an enhancement talent guy. He's on his way down. Kit Wilson's on his way up. If Kit Wilson can, I don't know what it is. This gimmick can get him somewhere, but it's not going to get him to the top. But
mid card at best, U.S. champion.
Yeah, And I think that's good for somebody of
Yeah, of
his
course.
stature. So, like, stay where you are. The toxic thing seems to be catching on. Good for them. I mean, it was, it was what it was. It was a comedy match in the middle of a pay per view, and the highlight of it for me was El Torito. Like, I'm glad to see him back. He was always good. Like, he was in there against the cruiserweight guys on 205 Live. He could wrestle like a real match. Like, it's not just a freak show. They don't just bring him out and he doesn't do anything. And they're just like, look at how short this guy is. Like, this guy can fucking wrestle his ass off. So
Yeah, he can go.
yeah, no problems with that.
So
I was entertained. I was definitely entertained.
I think it was dumb. I absolutely think it was dumb.
of
My
course
thing
it's
when I see
dumb.
matches like that isn't there? Like for me, there's two things to them, right? Isn't there a women's match that you could have put there that has a storyline to develop? Like that's the thing for me. Like if you couldn't fill it with like,
Right.
But
I don't know.
why
Like,
would
that
you?
could have been a comedy skit, honestly.
Yeah,
like
but
in a backstage comedy skit
I
amongst
know what
them.
you mean.
Like you could like have him pull out the time machine while he's talking there, and then the Miz comes and Kit Wilson talking shit, call him toxic. He turns it on. They open it, and there's a bunch of little fucking down houses. Fuck them up. Ha ha. We get a laugh.
Here's
and then we
why.
have a match.
Here's why they wouldn't do that. Because as of right now, Danhausen is one of your top 3 merch sellers. They want him in the ring. They want him in front of the crowd. If you go to WWE Shop, he's got over 36 items on the shop, and he's like the number 2 merch seller in the company right now.
They start selling his little car yet?
T-shirts, masks, towels, fucking socks, blankets, posters. I mean, you fucking name it. So, that's why you're going to make time and you're going to put him in a segment, in a match. Because this guy's a draw right now. And the kids fucking love him. I love him. It's like, you see the gingerbread fucking thing on SmackDown, the whole 3 hours was based on this funeral for the gingerbread. To me, that was fucking stupid. The only thing I enjoyed was the AI pictures where they added the gingerbread into all those pictures. I thought that was funny. Outside of that, the whole thing was stupid. However, Danhausen, I don't know why, I just think I enjoy everything Danhausen.
I enjoy him. Don't get me wrong. I just think there's more talent if you're gonna. I don't know. I just think he's good for certain things, and a pay-per-view match I don't think is it. When you have other talent that could go on there, like how do you not have an Obafemi open challenge at a fucking Backlash?
Well, because as of right now, everyone's too fucking scared to even accept the challenge.
That's great. They could have started being scared on Raw after he fucking murdered.
You know what?
somebody.
I'm actually glad that you just brought up Oba. So let's dive into Oba because I have concerns. I don't know where you go with Oba right now. And I don't know that they had an actual plan. And I really hope they're not putting it into ChatGPT. What do we do with Oba? I think the fact that you already have people too scared to accept his challenge is too fast, too soon. I don't know, like I said it last week too. You can't have somebody like Tozawa or a mid-card player at this point going after Oba and expecting it to be remotely like you need somebody like Omos. Is like the first person I can think of. You need somebody that's just that big that even Oba's going to have to look up to. And then I've been saving it because David's, likes to jump ahead. But
Right.
David Rosca also made the comment, Omos versus Oba. I would be down for that. Bring Braun Strowman back. These are believable people I could see. Not Los Garzas, I thought that was hilarious. I enjoyed it. That he had to find his own. They were macking on women backstage, and he just decimated the both of them. But let's catch up with David, because he put a lot. Asuka's gone. She's gone, but I don't think she's gone for good. Joe Hendry is the Gerard Butler. Okay. Joe Henry should be fired. Okay. Why, I guess would be my question. Kurt Angle should be heel back in 2000. Okay. I don't know where he comes up with some of this stuff. WrestleMania 43 should head back to Brooklyn. I would totally be okay with that because traveling would be very easy for me. But why would be my other question. Tara, I don't see anything, just the logo, no show. But then how are you commenting?
Can you hear us? We're all the way on the left.
Yeah, we're on the left side.
We
now.
changed the screen around so the logo's in the middle and the three videos are on the left.
But if the show wasn't on, you wouldn't be able to comment.
So just let us know what's going
Yeah.
on. But man, I agree. I kind of agree with Al there to go back to his thing about, is there a women's match? And not that you needed to even remove the Danhausen match. There were only 5 matches.
You could have added another match.
Right.
Yeah, and because you
women's
don't have
match,
yeah, and you don't have Punk. Punk is apparently taking off the European tour. He's not going over to England and all that stuff.
Oh, is that right? I didn't
Yeah, it was just I just saw that before we went online or went on air, and
Interesting.
so it's interesting there with regarding to the Oba thing. I think you're right. There, an escalation needs to happen. He's so fucking over, and both world titles are wrapped up in nonsense right now.
But
This
that's
guy
what I'm
should have a
afraid
belt.
of. Like, it's like I don't want him to lose steam. And I feel like it's going to get to a point where people are going to be like, all right, well, now he's just going to destroy, this person, that person. Like,
Here's my thought. Right now, nobody on Raw, everyone on Raw is afraid to face him. So go to SmackDown. Be like, all right, if you guys are afraid of me, I'm going to go to SmackDown. Beat a couple of people on SmackDown, and then beat Cody Rhodes. Oba should run through Cody Rhodes in like 3 minutes and take the belt off of him.
Now we're talking. Keep talking dirty to me. What
And-
else?
And Cody, listen, Cody's another one of those guys that losing to Oba like that isn't going to kill him.
It ain't gonna kill nobody to lose to Oba.
Right, exactly. And the problem, like you said, Steve, is he's so over. How long can you do the Goldberg he beats up jobbers thing? Goldberg even at one point had to go into the U.S. title contention with that whole, he was in the. There was a great storyline between Raven and DDP going on, and then they had to insert Goldberg in there against Raven, and put the belt on Raven from DDP to get Goldberg the U.S. title. And that seems like, maybe they're just following that playbook, but I agree. I can't watch this guy squash people every week for the next 6 months until they figure out what the hell they're going to do with him.
Who's our U.S. Oh no, who's our IC champion right now?
Penta, right?
Penta. And he's in a feud with Ethan Page, which I love. Well, and Rusev, but I'm a big fan of Ethan. And I think him and Penta, I actually could see Ethan Page being your new IC champion by SummerSlam.
Yeah, very, very, very possible.
So what if he goes after that belt for we could slow down his trajectory as of right now? I mean, there's a few things you could do with him, right? They're not very popular, but they will keep steam on him, will keep him relevant. You could put him for an IC title match, right? I don't think it would be very popular right now to put him against Trick William. You could also put him in a tag team and let him get tag team gold for a little bit. You delay his process. You bring Omos and you do a few months feud with that. The man that can finally stand up to the ruler, or you could slow his process up, and then you have him win the Royal Rumble, and then you have him go to WrestleMania and win a match.
And because they don't give a shit about the tag team titles, it would be really interesting to see what Oba and Omos would do as a tag team.
Yeah,
Like they could run through the whole division, man. And it wouldn't have to be long matches, tags in and out. And then yes, you do they lose the belts eventually. They turn on each other. They feud. Oba goes over. There you go.
And that's a few months that gets you to the promised land. You could get through SummerSlam. You could get through fucking
Yeah, because you
what's
could
the
have the
other one?
tag team Survivor Series and
Yeah,
all that stuff, all the way through to like Royal Rumble time. You got to get through
correct.
to like no, you got to get through like November, December, like beginning of December. You can start.
And that could be where their whole thing starts if you keep the belt on them for a while, right? Let's say you keep them as tag team champions during the Royal Rumble, and one of them eliminates one another, or something happens.
Mm.
That could be a riff right there. Oba goes over, has to eliminate his partner, makes a tough decision, and here we are.
I don't know. The whole thing with Ova just worries me right now because I just feel like they don't have a plan. And I just don't want to see him lose any momentum.
Yeah, the worrying thing when they go, oh, nobody wants to face him, so he's just going to pull some people out of the locker room and
2
beat
weeks
them up.
into this open challenge. You know
Right?
what I mean?
Yeah, like we're not too far removed from this open challenge starting, and yeah. But I mean, when the first person that answers your open challenge is Brock Lesnar for a match at WrestleMania, where do you go from there?
Well,
Right. It's so hard to. Can you imagine being the fucking writer for this guy?
well,
That
but
guy
I
keeps
will
us
tell you,
waiting.
but that's the problem, right? So you get Brock Lesnar in the first one, you beat him in 4 minutes and retire the man. And then you go to Los Garzas?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Otis, at least because of size. Like, people were like, oh, shit, here we go. You know what I mean? And even that, he impressed the hell out of me.
Right, position on the card. Otis is way down the food chain.
I have a good one. Why don't they bring Moose from TNA and wrestle with him?
I would like to see that myself.
Moose is not going to go over. He could give him a good match.
But that's just it. Like, see, but that's just it. It has to be people, like, of that size.
Oh, of course.
And then every so often you got to throw him a guy like a Daniel Bryan or a Finn Balor who, like, remember when they would work like them or AJ Styles would work with Brock Lesnar and like the little guy, big guy thing would work out. So like if you have a guy that can wrestle like that, who's a smaller guy, probably Finn Balor at this point. But hey, Finn Balor could wrestle him and not, again, he could lose and nothing could happen to him because he's Finn Balor.
Speaking about Finn Balor, what are we doing with him?
I mean, it looks like he's still feuding with Judgment Day because he took out JD again last night, and then forced Dominic to go out by himself and defend the AAA title for the first time ever on a Monday Night Raw. And of course, Dominic is still your AAA champion.
Of course.
Great match, by the way. I thought Raw was pretty decent. Heyman cut a promo, Braun Breaker. It kind of set up the 6-man tag with the Street Profits and Joe Hendry versus The Vision. That was a good match. Penta, Ethan Page, and Rusev. Javon had a whole thing, and then Javon wound up fighting Rusev, got over, which I was happy to see. I just love Javon. Brie Bella and Paige, I got to tell you, I was so excited for the return of Paige. This has been a long time coming. I'm glad to see her back. She looks great. I know how important it was for her to be Paige again. They need to get her away from Bella. They need to get her away from the tag titles. They need to let her go on a singles run. She is being wasted with Brie Bella. Week after week after week, they're just getting taken out. They're not doing a fucking thing. I know Paige was a placeholder until Nikki is ready. Nikki needs to get ready because this is not doing Paige any favors. We haven't even had an opportunity for Paige to address the crowd and say how happy she is to be back. You know what I mean? Like when
Which
she
is not
went
happening at this point.
No,
Right.
But like if you remember, like when she went to AEW, her first night out, she cut this beautiful promo. We got nothing. And it just, I don't know. It's not working. This whole thing is not working for me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Paige is better suited as a singles person, maybe with a faction like she had over in AEW, because like she couldn't. She's not a full-time wrestler in the same sense as she once was. She's definitely had, she's had injuries and surgeries and all that. So you want her, if in order for her to wrestle that big singles match at a pay-per-view or like a marquee Monday Night Raw or something, you're going to want her to have a couple people around her that can take bumps and work matches. So the Bellas kind of work for that, but then one of the Bellas gets hurt, and that's kind of like a downer for Paige's trajectory, not just the Bellas.
Well, but it was a great opportunity to bring Paige back.
It was, but now it's like.
But I feel like they shouldn't have won the titles. It should have been, that was the way to get her back, but now let her go off on her own and do her thing.
It would even have been better if they did one of those things where, like, they came out after the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, and remember how when Bob Holly and Cody Rhodes were tag team champions, and Ted DiBiase like wrestled by himself, and then in the middle of the match Cody turned and won the tag team titles with a new partner. Like there needs to be, there should have been something like that where like the injured Bella hit Paige with a crutch and takes the title and is like, that's my sister, you're not going to walk around with one half the tag team championships, this was supposed to be my WrestleMania moment, whatever. And like,
well, I have a feeling that's ultimately how this is going to end.
Well, right. Yeah, but I mean,
like when Nikki's ready, they're going to turn on Paige.
That's the thing is we're now waiting for this moment to happen, and it's all dependent on one person's ankle or whatever it is for the storyline to move forward.
Now, I have a question now based on what you guys said, right? Because her age, the injury she's had, like, wouldn't it be smart to keep her in a tag team for the wear and tear until she's closer to Mania and maybe she wins a Rumble or something? Because eventually, don't you think part of her contract's like, hey, I want to be at the top one more time? Like, don't you see that being one of her, like, requests?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, like, don't you think it's smarter that way? That way we could get that match? Because I think if you break her up right now with the Bellas and make her a singles wrestler, that's a lot of matches all the way to Mania.
Paige is looking very weak to me.
She's not looking the same.
In this pairing with Brie. And maybe my issue is Brie.
I was just thinking maybe our issue with this is that the tag team she's associated with is the Bellas and not like somebody else.
Right. Like not like it should have been AJ Lee. Paige and AJ. Or something like that. Maybe I'd feel a little bit better about it. I don't know.
That would be a great tag team.
I want to ask you guys a question because we're starting to get to the top of the hour. Did you guys notice when the Vision left the building and they were talking to Austin Theory as he's about to get in the Jeep? Did you guys notice who was sitting inside the Jeep?
Your favorite girl.
Maxine Dupree. And then last week you saw her, there was an interview going on in the far back, you could see her and Austin Theory talking. So It almost seems like Maxine is joining the Vision, maybe starting a thing with Austin Theory, which is going to be interesting to see where this goes. But that's like a little Easter egg that you had to really pay attention because they only showed it very briefly, very quick.
You want me to tell you something, bro, about that?
Sure.
I'm sorry. Finish what you were saying. I apologize.
No, I'm good.
I wouldn't mind Maxine Dupree coming over with the Vision with her two guys.
I don't see Tozawa in the Vision.
But what you do is you make Tozawa now like a fucking assassin. Like you make him this ninja. Like you can cut this promo that he went into training and hiding, and you take him away for like a month or so, 6 weeks, and he comes back as a fucking ninja. Like,
You want to know what my problem is with that? You know what my problem is with that? Tozawa's been a goofball for so long. It's hard for me to picture being able to take him seriously.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd have to see it, I guess. I'd have to see it play out because I can't take him seriously. Like, it's just,
If he doesn't talk puts glasses on and just walks to the ring in a fucking suit.
And it's
It
just like a
just comes
silent
and
killer.
just comes in all black and beats the shit out of you like a ninja for 2 weeks, you'll start believing in him. And he don't got to win clean because he'll be part of the vision. And then the other motherfucker, he just got to stop saying yep, and he looks like a fucking security guard,
I mean,
a bodyguard. I'm sorry, not a
I'd
security
have to see it. I mean, listen, Tozawa as like the silent killer could work. I just have to see him in a serious way. And I mean, it's been 20 plus years of Tozawa just being a goofball. So I'd have to just kind of see if they can play it off and see if they can make it work. Addy, what's going on? Glad you're checking us out. You got Daniel over at YouTube. This is actually one of Addy's friends also. How are you, brother? Good to have you guys on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see how this Maxine thing plays out. It's also funny, too, because she's constantly on LFG promoting her fiance. Like, they're doing all this stuff, but now in WWE world, we're going to pretend that she's going to be in a love thing with Austin Theory. So,
Right.
you know, again, we'll see how that plays out. Sol Ruka, second match on Monday Night Raw. She goes up against Io Sky. So here's my awesome match. I thought Sol Ruka looked awesome. Io is Io. She's always going to look great. I have one issue. On one hand, I have never, ever seen a counter to the Soul Snatcher. But we saw one on Raw, and it was awesome, and it looked great, and that's how Io got the win. I think it's too soon for us to see that there is such a counter for the Soul Snatcher. Like, she should... That is such an amazing move. There should never be a counter until, like, a long feud where they're just... The Soul keeps getting snatched and snatched and snatched, and eventually they figure out a way to counter it. I just thought it was too soon. But I did love the match, and I thought Soul looked like $1 million.
I don't think she should have lost. That was my big pet peeve. I thought that's where you were going with it. I think she's such a great talent. A quick roll up on Io, surprise roll up, 1, 2, 3, quick count, and she got away with a win. Would have never hurt Io, and it would only could help Sol Ruka. I don't know. Like, is it me, or has she lost a few times now in the main roster?
Yeah, I think.
Well, she's had 2 matches. She's lost twice, but that's not uncommon when you're new to the main roster. And look at the 2 people that she fought. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, she shouldn't be able to beat Io Sky already. Io Sky is an established former world champion. You know what I mean?
But this is the problem that, you know, you bring this new person up. You do want to establish them. Io, you're setting up this thing where Io is basically taking over Asuka's spot as the top women's wrestler or the top Japanese women's wrestler, whatever it may be. And you want to tell that story and you want her to beat somebody good. But was Sol Ruka the person to do that with? Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like if you're going to have this person lose to Io Sky, it could be whoever. It doesn't have to be this new person who you're trying to get over with this cool finisher.
But I think she got over.
No, she
losing to Io doesn't hurt her in any way.
Oh no, I know it doesn't hurt her, but it also is like there is a part of like how many times can this girl lose? Like, are we trying to like give her like a losing streak story? Is it like, oh, she's going to lose a couple and then finally figure it out? Like, what is there a plan for her, or is it just like, hey, she's on the roster now, we're putting her up against big name talent, she's going to get over by losing, but she's going to get over? Like, I just don't, like, I don't see the vision for her yet.
Is this a change of character? Like, is this maybe the angle they're doing? Like, she's the surfer girl, cool girl, and then she realizes she has to have more thick skin. And then
listen, I have been saying for a very long time that the only thing I think they should do with Sol Ruka is change her gimmick. I don't like the whole surfer thing. I think it's stupid. So I don't know what the answer would be in terms of a fresh new gimmick. I'd be okay if they got rid of this whole surfer shit. To me, that does nothing for me. Addy wants to know, has anything crazy happened with Logan Paul lately? Well, yeah. Logan Paul is currently in one of the main storylines. He's a tag team champion, so he's holding gold. He's a part of one of the main event teams in the WWE. So, yeah, Logan is doing some big things right now. He's doing a really great job. Big fan. I like Logan Paul. All right. Well, on that note, we are getting close to the top of the hour. Anyone else has anything they want to add? Anything new with Jesse Rodriguez? Who's Jesse Rodriguez?
I don't know who Jesse Rodriguez is, but fuck Goldberg.
Daniel, who's Jesse Rodriguez? That's what I want to know. I don't know who that is.
That is Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez's kid, though.
Well, you would assume.
Yeah.
Stupid. All right. Anything else? Anything else you guys want to go over or cover before we take it home?
AEW's got a pay-per-view this weekend, so that should be good.
Yes, that should be a good show.
Have a full report next Tuesday. Shit, man, we really don't have much to, we've already got Backlash covered. It happened, and now we're just plugging along until Clash in Italy or something? I don't even know what the next one is.
I think it's Saturday night's main event, then the Clash in Italy. Gotcha.
All right, so we'll have plenty to talk about because we'll have SmackDown coming up, and then all the news and Monday Night Raw. So we'll have more to talk about next week, I'm sure, along with the AEW pay-per-view. And that will do it. You hear the music. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another edition of the War Report After Dark. We live stream 9 p.m. Tuesday nights Eastern Time on Facebook and YouTube. Whichever page you're on right now, that's where you need to go to see next week's show. On Facebook, type Tag Me a Date in your search bar, hit that thumbs up or follow button, and the live video will show up in your news feed. If you go to YouTube, type Tag Me a Date in the search bar, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You will get notified half an hour before the show goes live. All you have to do is tap that little button, the little notification thing. It'll bring you right to the live stream. If you want to follow us on social media, it is Tag Me a Date with no spaces on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter/X, and Instagram. All you have to do is hit the follow button there, and we post shorts and reels on social media throughout the week until next Tuesday's show. And if you prefer TikTok, it is the War Report Podcast. So type the War Report Podcast into the search bar on TikTok and hit follow. And last but not least, if you prefer an audio or an audio version of the podcast instead of a video version, go to your favorite podcast app, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Type in the War Report, type in Tag Me a Date. You'll see our lovely logo that's all over the screen and in the top right corner. And the description will say our names. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, and Ryan or Steve will grab the audio between Tuesday and Wednesday, upload it, and as long as you're subscribed, once it's uploaded, it goes right to your tablet or phone so you can take it with you on the road and listen to your podcasts. And leave a like on your way out. Thank you, everybody. Tara, David, Daniel, Addie, everyone else that hopped in the comments today. Thank you so much. Leave a like on your way out or a share or whatever, and we will see you next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, for another edition of the War Report. Have a great one.